The islands of Imroz and Tenedos, or Gökçeada and Bozcaada, as they're now called in Turkish, are situated in the northeast corner of the Aegean Sea, near the entrance to the Dardanelles Straits, the sea channel that separates Europe and Asia. From time immemorial, Imroz and Tenedos have been inhabited by peoples of Hellenic origin, speaking the Greek language and passing on their Greek heritage and customs since earliest times. In 1456 the two islands were incorporated into the Sultan's domain. However, the Greek character of the island remained intact. Ottoman Empire statistics at the end of the 19th century showed Imroz as having 10,000 Greek inhabitants and 99 Ottoman Turks, while in Tenedos there were some 2,500 Greeks alongside 1,200 Turks. During the Balkan Wars in November 1912, a Greek naval victory wrested Imroz and Tenedos, as well as the rest of the northeastern Aegean islands, from the Turks. Then World War I intervened. The Gallipoli campaign saw the British take control of the two islands, which were handed over to Greece again by the Treaty of Sèvres in 1920. Greek rule was brief. It ended in 1922, after a disastrous Greek campaign in Asia Minor. The end of that war entailed a general political rearrangement in the area, enshrined by the Lausanne Treaty. The status of Imroz and Tenedos was an issue in the Lausanne negotiations. Conceding that the Greek population was in a majority, a quasi-autonomous local administration under Turkish sovereignty and authority was proposed, in order to ensure that the distinct ethnic character of the islands be safeguarded. On February 4, 1923, Turkey accepted the proposal. The fate of the islands was sealed. The protocol on Imroz and Tenedos stipulated that, and we quote, "No inhabitant of the islands shall be disturbed or molested under any pretext whatsoever on account of any military or political conduct or any assistance of any kind given by the person to a foreign power that's a signatory of the peace treaty. Full and complete amnesty will be granted to all the inhabitants of the islands for offences and crimes, whether political or under ordinary law, committed before this day." Unquote. Similarly, Article 14 of the Lausanne Treaty decreed, quote, "The islands of Imroz and Tenedos, remaining under Turkish sovereignty, shall enjoy a special administrative organization composed of local elements and furnishing every guarantee for the native non-Muslim population insofar as concerns local administration and the protection of persons and property. The agreements which have been or may be concluded between Greece and Turkey relating to the exchange of the Greek and Turkish populations will not be applied to the inhabitants of the islands of Imroz and Tenedos." Unquote. At Lausanne, Turkey also agreed to grant equal treatment for all religious and racial minorities living in its territory. In particular, Turkey agreed to protect life and liberty without regard to birth, nationality, language, race, or religion, the free exercise of religion, the use of any language in the press and publications, and the right to establish and maintain charitable, religious, and social institutions and schools. However, the Turkish government appeared most reluctant to honor its treaty obligations. It promptly took over the administration of the islands, including the judiciary, the police, and the other authorities. On June 26, 1927, the Turkish government, faced with an international outcry, revised its rules on the local administration of Imroz and Tenedos. But matters for the local Greeks did not improve. In fact, the teaching of Greek in the schools was abolished, and education was aligned with the mainland Turkish system. Except for the articles abolishing the traditional minority schools, the provisions related to the special local administration system of the islands were never implemented. Moreover, during World War II, most of the male Greek population was moved to the eastern borders of Turkey, serving in the notorious labor battalions. They returned to their homes only after the end of the war. Under these conditions, many islanders left for Istanbul or emigrated to other countries, depleting the population. Using as an excuse the flare-up of the Cyprus issue in 1963, the Turkish government decided to implement a plan for dissolving the Greek communities of the islands by launching an ethnic cleansing campaign. This campaign, known as the Dissolution Program, was ratified by the Turkish Ministers' Cabinet in 1964 in secret. According to this program, teaching in Greek schools was banned once more. All Greek schools were closed, seized, and put to other uses. All Greek children were compelled to attend Turkish schools. Most of the 300 country churches on Imroz and Tenedos have either been destroyed or desecrated, turned into stables, army depots, and public toilets, following the fate of the 3 centuries-old Orthodox monasteries on the island, which have been razed to the ground since the 1940s. Countless religious and liturgical objects were routinely looted. Greek cemeteries were also desecrated. Moreover, 90% of Greek-owned land was expropriated and houses requisitioned. Greek Orthodox Church property was also seized. Between 1964 and 1970, the Prefecture of the Dardanelles issued more than 25 expropriation decrees. The property was then used to set up state farms, military camps, and even prisons. The property owners, who were very poor, received little in compensation and found it hard to find new jobs. Fishing was prohibited on military security grounds, and all fishing boats were confiscated. There is evidence to show that most of the expropriated arable land has in fact been left unused. Turkish official documents reveal that the state farm established on Imroz on land expropriated in the mid-1960s, about 16 million square meters, remained practically inert. Nearly 13 million square meters was taken up by new villages for Turkish settlers. Almost 1 million square meters was used to build an airport, but despite work on it starting in 1997, there's still nothing but an unfinished airstrip. The single most drastic measure was the Turkish authorities' decision to use Imroz as a penal settlement by establishing an open prison for Turkish mainland convicts. The convicts were left free on the island to terrorize the villagers through robbery, rape, and murder. Out of a total surface of 18.6 million square meters expropriated to build an open prison, just 8 million square meters was used for that purpose, and the prison was shut down in 1992. According to British Foreign Office documents, the ultimate intention of the Turkish authorities was to drive the Greek inhabitants out of Imroz altogether.